Hey guys, it's Cherry and welcome back to my channel. As we near the end of January and the school holidays, I'm sure that many of us are starting to get back into the school mode. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to share some of my tips and tricks on how to prepare for year 11 and 12. Just for some context, I'm currently in year 12 this year and I will be completing the second year of my IB Diploma Programme. In saying that, I've kept these tips very general to ensure that you can apply them to any course that you're doing, regardless of whether it's the IB or something else. So I've got all of my tips here on my phone and let's get into the video. So the first thing that I recommend doing is printing out your syllabus guide and having a flick through to really understand what you're going to be studying and to know what to expect. This is quite a thick document, so don't get overwhelmed, but it's basically everything that you need to learn in the year or the 2 years if you're doing IB, as well as everything that the examiners can test you on. I think a really key part of the syllabus guide is to look at the application section, which usually tells you about the real world links between the content and where it can actually be applied. So that is usually where the examiners will get their exam questions from, so I recommend focusing on those specific sections. Now, my next tip is to start familiarising yourself with the examination formats. Usually you have external and internal assessments, and the external assessments are kind of like exams at the end of the year or at the end of the course, whilst the internal assessments can be in-class tests such as SACs if you're doing VCE, or they can be something like the internal assessments, which are more like reports and orals if you're doing something like IB. So it's really important to understand what the format is as well as the grade weighting, so how much is this going to contribute to your final mark. Now, my next tip is honestly one of my favorites, and that is to create a subject-specific binder for each of your classes. So this is what mine looks like for chemistry, and as you can see, it's quite thick, but basically it's a compilation of your syllabus guides, any data booklets or formula booklets, past tests that you've done in class, as well as mock exams, notes, question banks, and everything in between. I find these to be really useful because they make sure that you have everything in one place, and it's really easy to go back, add things or rearrange things if you need. Now my next tip is to learn your specific note-taking style. So obviously some people prefer handwritten notes while some people prefer more digital notes, and for me personally I find that I like a combination of these based on the different subjects. So I recommend using the rest of this week to really try out both of these styles for your different subjects, find the one that works for you, and also create a kind of format for each of your notes so that you have a bit of consistency and it's a little bit more neat and a bit more organized. Next is to be a little bit selfish with your time and learn how to prioritize. I think time management is one of the most important things to do well in year 11 and 12. So really learn what is best for you. Also, it's also important to learn what times of the day you work best to really make sure that you maximize your efficiency. If you want some more tips on how to prioritize effectively, you can also check out one of these previous videos that I made, which I'll link down below in the description box, which has some really great tips. My next tip is to build a good working relationship with your teachers. And when I say this, I don't mean that you have to be best friends with them. It's simply doing small things such as completing the set work on time, asking questions, and even just waving to your teachers in the hallway. And I think this is super important because it will help you feel more comfortable approaching them for help or any questions, but it'll also mean that they're probably going to be more willing to help you in those situations. Now, my final tip is honestly the most important in my opinion, and that is to schedule downtime in your routine itself so that you're really prioritizing self-care and you're not feeling burnt out by the end of those 2 years. I think it's also super important to deliberately choose what you do in your rest time. So I think that the best kind of activities are something active or something creative. That's pretty much all of my tips for this video. If you enjoyed these or if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below in the comment section and leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!